How has not one person made this iconic ride yet? Well, in today's video, I am going to teach you guys how to make Jeff Gordon's iconic Rainbow Warrior scheme in NASCAR 25. All right, first and foremost, let's be straight up honest here. Go to your team, go to your car number. The 46 is probably the best number you can do here. Choose style number 2 for your font. You can go to a 57 if you want, but honestly, I dig the 46 because if you know the history, that was Jeff Gordon's original number that he was going to drive for Hendrick Motorsports until they switched to the 24. So a little bit of a history lesson right there. But if you want to get that 4 in there, the 64 is a good option. You know, you can kind of run that one too if you want. There's a lot of different ones you can go with, but just for the sake of this one, I'm going to rock a 46. Also, make sure to fill the color with yellow and make the outline black and the offset black as well. All right, so the first thing you want to do here is go to style number 1. I tried all the different styles here to try to get this car to 100% the way it looks like on track. Unfortunately, this is going to be the best one we're going to have to do with here, but it's still going to look really, really good. So style number 1 is what you're going to rock with here, and you're going to go ahead to your primary color, and you're going to choose this blue on the first column all the way down, the second to last blue. You can go back and forth with this if you want. If you want to make it the super dark blue, you can. I like the one just above the last one. You're also going to go to your pattern here, make sure there's no pattern there. Your secondary is going to be the same color as this blue here. No pattern there. The accent, not sure what the accent is for this space here, so it really doesn't make any sense for me to do anything with that, so just keep that the way it is. Match the team and helmet and design color to this design because it just looks the best. Your rim color is going to be black, and the side skirts, of course, are going to be on a 1, not on a 2. Now, also, too, if you want to go ahead and just get this all taken care of, you can do this whenever you want. Go ahead and move your number to right under where the window net is. I'm going to put it about right here. Probably a good spot for about right there. And just make it like a touch bigger. I would say like a 1.03 on the scale. Make sure to go ahead and take care of this on the right side as well. So go ahead and take your car number here, and you're going to move it over to just kind of match where that driver window is. Yeah, about right. About right there, I would say, is pretty good right there. And I'm going to go ahead and shrink that to just make it dead even with the other side of it. There we go. So there is your yellow 46 on the right side. All right, so the blue you're going to choose here for your first circle of the design. You kind of can go back and forth here. I like this blue here, but you can also go with the lighter blue. But the one that I have starred here is the one we're going to start with here. So go ahead, move this thing over here. Now, the blue is just touching the outskirts of that 46 car, or the 46 number, sorry, 46 number. So go ahead and expand this thing as wide as you possibly can. We're going to move this thing over to where it's just touching the very outer rim of this 46. It's still touching it a little bit there. So go about right here. And again, the unfortunate part about this livery here, never can understand how to get that one right. It does not go up to the B and C pillar. I don't know why. I don't know why we can't put stuff over that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But for the sake of this, it's okay. It's going to work out. It's going to look great. So there is that. And also don't forget, guys, to go over to the right side of your car and make sure to mirror everything because we still do not have a mirror mode in this paint booth. So go ahead and select this blue and just bring it on over here. Kind of make sure it matches where the 46 is. Just expand it as much as you possibly can. Go over here where it's just touching that 46. Expand it a little bit to where it's not too wide of an arc. About right there, I'd say, is pretty good. So let's go over here and make sure that looks about the same. Looks pretty accurate. I'm going to go ahead and make one small change here. Going to expand it just a teeny bit more. About right there. Just realized I accidentally had it on rotation. My bad about that. my bad on that one. All right, so there is your blue circle. So that one's taken care of. And now you're just going to kind of have to do this little rinse and repeat thing here, right? So the whole point of this is to keep adding circles on circles on circles to get the main design taken care of. We're going to go over to the green here, and we're going to pick the correct green that we want to rock with here. So it actually all lines up perfectly. So where that blue starred paint is that we just did for our light blue circle, you're going to move over here to that lime green, and that's going to be your green here for the next circle. So again, just expand this as much as you possibly can, bring it over here, and you kind of have to play around with it a little bit here to kind of match what you're looking for your DuPont scheme. I'm going to try to give it about that much room, expand it a little bit till about right there. I think that's pretty good. Make sure it's still got a little bit of a arch to it. There we go. So there is the green. And again, just go over here to the right side. I'm not going to lie, at the rate we're going here right now, and as I'm recording this video, this might be the quickest paint scheme I've ever made in this game. It's a matter of, hey, I know how this paint booth works, but also this scheme is actually not that hard to make if you really do think about it. I just can't believe no one's made it yet. Like, I haven't seen it on, like, social media. I haven't seen it on Twitter or anything like that. I'm just genuinely shocked, considering that this is one of the most iconic schemes of all time, and when you really look at it, this scheme is not that challenging to make, but that's what this video is here. I'm here to help you guys make an iconic scheme, and that's what we're doing. All right, same thing applies here, guys. You're gonna go ahead and choose another circle. We're gonna go ahead and choose yellow, and it all lines up perfectly, guys. Look at the yellow green here, and move over to that yellow, and it's just an absolutely perfect yellow. Go over here, and you're gonna expand this thing here. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. It's not that hard, but you just kind of have to make sure you give enough room for the red to really stand out. So I would say about right here is honestly a good spot for that yellow to be, to where you just have enough for that red to stand out for most of the left and right quarter panels. So I'm going to put the yellow right here. I actually might just play around this a little bit here. So let me shrink it a little bit, move it down a little bit, about like right here. Yeah, it has that little hook there at the end of the scheme, so I'm going to go ahead and rock with that. And last but not least, for the left side here, let's go ahead and add that red circle. So basically where all those stars line up for your colors, you're going to move all the way to that bright red right here, and you're going to move on over here. Take that circle, expand it, and just play around with it to where you're happy with it. So just kind of, you know, if you need to look up a picture of the car, look up a picture of the car. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, you know. So just be sure you're kind of looking at the scheme and asking yourself what you want this scheme to look like. At the end of the day, it is your scheme. So, you know, not trying to tell you all how to make the car. And just kind of play around with it a little bit here to where you're very happy with it. And I think right there is honestly pretty good for the next gen body for what we're trying to do here. That red is just ending up to where I think it's gonna end, like, you know, finish up here. So I'm gonna play around this, move it up just a teeny bit more. Say about right there is probably a really good spot for it. So there is your red circle on the left side, and then come over to the right side here. Go ahead and get that circle again and change your color to that red that we discussed earlier. Gonna come on over here. I'm liking the right side more than the left side, which is kind of rare. The driver's side usually is the better side of the car, but this is actually looking really good on this side and everything. So go here and just kind of shrink that a little bit, play around with it. It's, you know, I try to make these schemes look as realistic as possible to the real thing. It's never gonna look exactly 100% the way they should, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's a NASCAR 25 paint booth. I'm just doing the best I can here. All right, well, now you got the left and right sides of the design done. So let's go ahead and go to the back of the car. So on the rear here, you're just going to go ahead and choose a square. You're going to go ahead and make it the color red that we just did for our previous circle. And you're going to expand this thing as much as you possibly can all the way there and expand it all the way to where it's taking up the entire back bumper. Same thing will apply for the deck lid here. Go ahead and just grab yourself that square, go to your favorite color red that we love using so much on this paint booth, and expand that thing all the way you possibly can. There we go. Move it on up, and bam, look at that thing looking pretty good. I don't like that. What is that? Why is that there? I don't like that. All right, now let's go ahead and take care of probably the most iconic part of this scheme, the DuPont hood. So first thing we're going to go ahead is go and choose that trusty circle that we love so much, and we're going to work on the rainbow design here. So we're going to just expand this thing as much as we possibly can. Remember, this does have a little bit of a wider arc, right? Kind of like a rainbow. And you just got to treat it like a rainbow, and it kind of goes up to about right here, I would say, on the next gen hood. So I would say about right here is probably a good spot for it. Play around with it a little bit more. I'm probably going to move it up just a teeny bit more to give ourselves a little bit more room here. So I'd say right there is a pretty good spot for it. And the cool thing about the color patterns here is your colors are already picked for you. So go ahead and do that. And you're going to keep adding circles here and just follow that same color pattern that we had earlier. So this one is going to be your green. You're going to expand it. Just stretch it out. And just try to match the gaps a little bit here. say till about right there is probably pretty good right there. So there's your blue, there's your green, and now you're going to choose a circle again. And you guessed it, this one is yellow. So go ahead and choose your yellow, expand it. There you go. Just keep playing around with it a little bit. There's the yellow. Looking pretty snazzy, if I may say so myself. And your last one is going to be red. And you're just going to expand that. Move it on down a little bit so it just covers that rest of the hood. And there's your DuPont hood. Now, first thing I'm noticing here, I can probably move it up just a teeny bit more to give that red a little bit more room. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I'm just going to move these up just a teeny bit more. There we go. Gives us a little bit more room right there. So there is your hood. Now for the front, the whole entire front of this car is red. So it's pretty easy. Go ahead and just choose your red here. We're going to move it on over here to the middle just to kind of give yourself the best look of what it's looking like here. Expand that thing as wide as you possibly can. All right, so we do have a little bit more work to do right here, but that's okay. We'll get that all fixed up. Now go ahead and choose another square on the front. You're going to go ahead and make this red. And you are going to expand it to where it's covering up that entire part right there, where it's just taking up the whole front nose. Same thing applies over here on this side, so go ahead and choose another square. Make it the color red. And just move it on over here. Just may take a second for you to move it over here. There it is. And expand it. And it's blocked off right there, so expand it as far as you can. It's not going to do any damage to the car or anything, so there is that. So there is the whole entire front nose of the car. Now let's see if we can do something to fix that little offset there with the different colors. All right, guys, so on the left side here, I want you guys to choose a square. Okay, we're going to bring it on over here. And we're going to find those colors that we used earlier. Okay, and we're going to shrink it. A little too much there. We're going to shrink it. We're going to rotate to where it matches about dead even right there. So look at that. See how it actually lines up now and actually looks kind of okay? Same thing's going to go here. I hope I have enough room here to add more of these things to fill the whole void. I feel like I'm going to be one spot short here, which is going to kind of suck. But at the same time, though, at least it looks a lot better like this. So I'm going to go over here again and just shrink it. And I'm going to rotate. And just play around with this for a second. And just rotate it. Now, it's not going to be perfect, so just play around with it a little bit to where the colors are kind of matching up as much as you possibly can. Expand it just like one tiny little bit more. Okay, there's that. I swear if I can't get that square covered, I'm going to be so mad. You're kidding me. I have no more room left on this thing, and now I have a blue freaking triangle right here. I might have OCD now. I might actually have OCD right now. All right, so after mirroring the right side of what we already did, I made an executive decision here, and I just made that last yellow square to continue that rainbow loop into a yellow one. I know it looks a little tacky, but unfortunately, I am only limited to a certain amount of shapes to use on this paint booth, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. All right, last thing to take care of on the hood when it comes to the main design is making that iconic DuPont oval. Now, obviously, I cannot put the text DuPont here on the car, but I can hopefully find a sponsor that actually looks pretty good for what we're trying to do here. So if you kind of look at this, the white DuPont logo actually kind of takes up a lot of that that red right there. So you kind of want to just play around with this a little bit until you're very happy with how it looks and everything. So I would say about right here is probably pretty good for what the DuPont wants to look like here. And then after this, you're going to add another circle. And you're going to go back to that navy blue that we used for the original primary base for this car. It should be down here on the bottom left corner. expand it, and just kind of play around with it a little bit. I'd say about right there is probably, let's use a little bit more. Trying to get the best angle on this thing. It's looking a little iffy to me. All right, now let's find that decal that's going to fit into this DuPont logo the best. So while doing a little research here, you want someone that obviously has a white text to it that's going to fit into that box. Ally is an easy one you can do since it is technically a Hendrick partner, Hendrick sponsorship. That is probably the one I'm going to go with at the moment. I just need to find someone that might be a bit better, but I don't know what I can put. I mean, Grillo's Pickles, that kind of fits. Hellman's Mayonnaise kind of fits there too. It kind of takes up the whole space of that, so that might not be a bad idea right there. You can also go with the OG Hellman's logo here. It kind of has that little rainbow effect to it, kind of going from left to right on the car, so that's not a bad one. The Hellman's one actually doesn't look that bad, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually kind of liking the Hellman's one. The more I'm doing this, the more I'm kind of going through all these logos and everything. All right, guys, so there's a few things you can do for the decal when it comes to the DuPont circle. Again, if you want to do it on a different body, you can, but the air vents here on the hood kind of take away the look of the car, right? So you can go with Ally, right? So Ally is one you can do. You have to shrink it a little bit. You can go even with, I saw the other one right here, too, that I liked as well. Grillo's Pickles doesn't look that bad. The Hellman's logo doesn't look that bad. You can go with the Hellman's logo if you want. But I'm not going to lie. I think the one that I like the most right now, and again, it may change, I think is the Aaron's Rent to Own. Something about it just really kind of resembles the DuPont logo a little bit. It's simple. It takes up a lot of the circle, so that's the one I'm going to roll with, but you can do whatever you want. All right, guys, so for the left side here, I'm not going to lie. I had a little bit of a hard time deciding what I wanted to do for the sponsors here for the left side and everything. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the old Quaker State logo for the side sponsor. Because, I mean, Quaker State, I think, at least to my knowledge, is still a Hendrick Motorsports partner, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I could be absolutely wrong about that. But I'm going to put the Quaker State logo on the side, just because it kind of makes sense for it to be there, and it is the OG logo, so it kind of resembles the old days and everything, right? This scheme is from the 90s, right? So we're kind of doing a little bit of a throwback scheme, if I may say so. And we're going to go over here, take that Quaker State logo, where it's sitting right there, and just expand it the way you want it to look. It doesn't have to be exactly the way it looks like on the car or anything like that. So I would say about right here is probably a pretty good spot for it. I'd say about right there is pretty good. All right, now for the rest of the car, I'm going to add a bunch of random decals to kind of fill up the space. You can do whatever you want by this point, but I'm going to zip on through here and get to the end and show you guys the final product. All right, guys, and here it is. What do we think about the classic Jeff Gordon DuPont Rainbow Warrior on the next-gen body? Obviously, the one or two things I noticed is I was not able to expand the circles to the B and C panel. I wish I could have done that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that whatsoever, but I still think this car came out really, really clean. And I'm not going to lie, this might be the biased Jeff Gordon fan in me, but this might be my favorite car I've made so far just because of how almost really just ideal how similar this car is to what the actual one was. Obviously the same sponsors aren't there, but I still love it how it all just turned out, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and I hope you guys found this tutorial really simple and easy to follow. That's gonna do it for today's paint booth class, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and comment below a car you would like to see me made. Your suggestion may get picked. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well for more paint booth classes, NASCAR 25 content, and much, much more. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay sloppy. I'll see you guys next time.